Well, at that day, I was in our house, and my wife spent the night visiting her mother with my two young baby girls, Raz and Aviv. And I was here in my house, in our house. And at the morning, we started to hear on the news that there are rockets, but we didn't imagine that there are hundreds and thousands of militants invading the Israeli territory. So at that moment, I thought that I didn't knew that they locked down in the shelter. I knew that because we talked. My wife called me and said that they are in the shelter, which is a safe room inside of the house, and they are locked down there because they are afraid to go out because they are hearing gunshots, and they are hearing that something is not normal. Not normal. It's not only missiles and alarms, but they are also hearing gunshots. And she said it sounds far, but I told her to tell me if it's starting to get closer, because we thought that the army and the security forces will are there in place. So the gunshots came closer, and she called me and she told me that people entered the house and took my mother-in-law's spouse. She told me that they stayed in the safe room, and the Hamas people got into the house, and my mother-in-law's spouse is a 79-year-old man. He is like a grandfather for my daughters. He went out to them and tried to talk to them, I guess. I don't know. And she told me they took Gadi. And I told her to stay locked down, and I prayed to God that no one will find them and they will stay in the shelter. But I couldn't reach my wife after, and I couldn't reach my mother-in-law also. So in the next few hours, which was nerve-wracking, I made hundreds of phone calls, including onto the media, and went on broadcasting live, asking for help, telling that my wife is locked down because there was a complete chaos. So I called the media asking for help, and tell them, someone please go to my mother-in-law house in the kibbutz of Nir Oz, and will help my wife and daughters, because the Hamas invaded to the house and kidnapped Gadi. And I all that time I'm trying to reach her and I can't do it, and she's not available. Her phone is not available, and my mother-in-law as well. And unfortunately, after a few very nerve-wracking hours, I got a video released by Hamas itself. And on that video, I saw on the spot all my family, my wife and my two daughters, Raz and Aviv, which are 4 and 2, two young baby girls. They are only 4 and 2-year-old, David, getting on a cart with a tractor, along with equipment and bicycles of children. They put the people along with equipment, and they just took them inside Gaza on a tractor. And I see a bunch of Hamas people are all around them, screaming Allahu Akbar all around. It was something that I never thought I witness in my life, and I just broke down.
What happened the rest of the day, and what has happened since in terms of you gaining any information about your family?
Well, David, until this very day, this video I mentioned is the most powerful evidence I have for them to being alive. And this is the only hope I can hold on. And we are in contact with the military and we are in contact with the government, yet, the situation is complicated and there's not much of sensitive information that can be shared with family members. Of course, I'm doing whatever I can to discover as much as I can, because you need to understand, I am the father of this family. I have no one else. My entire family were abducted, and it's including young baby girls, which are only 4 and 2. So they are very sensitive to my personal condition, but I have no concrete information about their condition.
Tell us about your family. What are they like? Tell us about them.
Well, like I said, we live not far from Tel Aviv in a big house with a lawn. My daughters is running all over the place. They like the space. They are 2 young, beautiful baby girls. My wife is a wonderful wife who has a career, who take care of the house, take care of the children. And we are a happy family. We are a regular family. And my 2 young baby girls, they are only interested in playing, in running, in dancing, in wearing dresses, in going to their friends. What does they have to do with being prisoners of war? In what world those young, beautiful, sweet girls are related to in any way to be prisoners of war? Who takes little babies to be a prisoner of war? When we talk about war, they are not soldiers, they are not militants. Why are they have to be connected to this thing? And I think each day goes by, I have no time. How much time can you hold them on captivity? How much? Until when they'll survive? What will I get back? A person or a shell?
How are you coping with this day by day, hour by hour even? How do you just get through the day?
Well, David, the only thing I'm doing since October 7th, from the morning until the night, is activity as much as I can in order to return them. But I am one person that getting a lot of help from many other people helping me voluntarily from their own time and giving me from their experience. But the only thing I can do is talk. And I've been abroad 3 times in the last 3 weeks, in Germany because of my family German citizenship, and my wife and 2 daughters are German citizens. And I've been in Brussels and the European Union, and in Los Angeles in United States. So the last 3 weeks I went 3 times out of my country, and it is very difficult to fly in my mental condition, and it's very difficult to relive my story every day 10, 15 times. Every day I tell my story 10, 15 times, and it's so hard. And the all the activity is making me feel in some ways that I'm doing something, but what am I doing? What can I do?
And does the IDF's military operation in Gaza give you more strength, or does it make you more worried?
Well, I'm worried when my young daughters are jumping on their bed. So you can only imagine how worried I am when they are in a war zone, held prisoners like they were some kind of militants. So, of course, I am super afraid, and this is the most terrifying experience for a father. I can only hope that the situation will end as soon as possible. I don't think war is something that none of us wish for, and I pray for it to be over and all of the hostages will return. There are 240 people, give or take, are getting held as captive in different ages. So the situation generally is complicated, but as women and children, mothers and babies, We need to release them and give some chance because we have no time.
And Yoni, what would you say to your wife and children if you could speak to them right now?
Well, I want to tell them that I love them, I miss them, I'm sorry, and please hold on. And if you are together, hug each other and don't forget me, because I'm doing everything that I can to get you back home. And please stay strong. And I do everything I can to get you home safe and soon, I swear.